What's up guys, it's Rota here and welcome back to yet another amazing video on the channel. For today I got you a Exo Stepsister deck profile, and it's a deck that I basically had a unique take on. It's with the Bystials, which I haven't seen many people do, and I think Bystials with the Stepsisters actually make a very good combination. So without any further ado, let's get straight into the video, but make sure you do check out our short sections and our poll sections as we do upload there every single day. Let's get to it. What are you doing, Stepsister? So starting off with the deck profile here, we have triple of the ExoSister Martha. She is by far the best ExoSister. I'm not going to explain into too much depth what they do. Just important to note that Martha special summons herself and a ExoSister out of the deck and then locks you out of ExoSisters for the turn. And that she can be triggered off you moving cards out of your opponent's graveyard or your own, which is also a very important fact that, you guys should remember for later on. Moving on to the next ExoSisters, we have triple of the ExoSister Elise. She just special summons herself as long as you control another ExoSister, and she has the normal ExoSister effect, which is when your opponent moves a card out of the graveyard or deck, unlike Martha, which is any player. Moving on, we have triple of the ExoSister Stella. She is, I'd say she's not as good as Elise because she is vulnerable to the Imperm or the Effect Veiler or Gamma or sort of removal. But you need to play her at 3 because she is sort of a one card Xyz in terms of you normal her, you special another one out of your hand, usually Sophia, and then you make your Xyz. Speaking of Sophia, we're playing 2 of the ExoSister Sophia and 1 of the ExoSister Irene. This is the ExoSister package. It's pretty good. You just have to keep in mind that when your board is settled, God will throw a stone at it in the form of Nibiru. Nibiru is a very powerful card against ExoSisters, and if they hit you on the ExoSister Magnifica, you're pretty much screwed for that turn. So just be careful of when God throws a rock in terms of Nibiru. That is it for the ExoSister names. Let's move on to the monsters that are not ExoSisters. We have double of the Zora. Basically an ExoSister. I consider it an ExoSister. It's pretty much better an ExoSister than it is in its own deck. If you normal it, you can equip it with a monster from the extra deck to itself, which it does via its effect, and then it summons a level 4 spellcaster from the graveyard, which is any ExoSister. So this card is a 1-card Xyz, and it's pretty nice. And then the extra deck monster that you do equip will search you the second Zora. So if you see one, you see both. Moving on to the hand traps, the best one. I don't think we need to mention much about him. He's the turn skip guy. Just, we're playing, it's our graveyard basically when he's there in terms of nothing's hitting the graveyard. And if anything does hit the graveyard, the ExoSisters will trigger, which is really nice because they'll eventually do something with that card. Moving on to my second engine, which is actually the Bystial package. I don't think I've seen anyone actually try this build, which I think is very weird considering they actually do have quite a lot of synergy together. In terms of any of the Bystials, if you normal summon Martha, can trigger your Martha basically by banishing a card out of your opponent's graveyard or your own. So I think that's absolutely insane synergy and a way to get around the ExoSister lock. If you normal Martha and any Bystial, you can trigger the Martha and get the Xyz anyway. The Bystial Rebellion's really good because he just searches them out basically, and he gets you access to your branded beast, which is also very nice. We have triple of the Bystial Magnamut. He's the best one. You summon him and he rotates you at the end phase. Rotates you for either the Druisworm, which we play 2, or the Saronir, which we play 1. You can just play triple Druisworm, but I prefer having the extra name at the cost of Saronir not being that good. That is it for the monsters. I believe there's 26 of them. And yeah, the Bystials with the ExoSisters have insane synergy, and I recommend that you guys definitely do try it out. Moving on to the spell cards here, we have triple of the ExoSister packs. A Rota basically, and a quick play is insane. The only bad thing is that you have to pay 800 life points, so in time situations, it can come up that you can't really use it because you'll burn yourself and lose. It also has the additional effect that it can special summon a ExoSister instead if you control the card that's listed on its name on the field or in the graveyard, which is really nice. For the last ExoSister card, that's a spell we have, the one Carpe de Venom, I believe is how you pronounce it. Just a searchable way to get through back row. And basically it's just a prohibition on Xyz summon. So I think it has really good versatility and it's searchable. Moving on to the power spells, triple Pot of Prosperity. This card is absolutely free in this deck. You don't really care about your extra deck that much. It's sort of all free. So pretty much banishing 6 to dig to your Martha basically every single time. The only bad thing about this is that it doesn't let you draw, so your Sophia isn't actually as strong. We have 1 call by, 1 tactics. I feel this ratio has been fine. Just power 1-ofs. If they hand trap you and you have call by, the hand trap does nothing. They hand trap you and you have tactics, you get to do more stuff. And finally, for the traps, we have double of the ExoSister Returnia, double of the ExoSister Vadis, and 1 of the branded Beast. Returnia is by far my favorite card of the traps. It's just the banish 2 is absolutely insane. The Vadis is also really nice if you chain it to when your opponent wants to move something out of the graveyard. You basically get 2 ExoSisters for free. And we also have the 1 Beast, which, you know, off Lubellion is basically a pop every single turn. And now that's 40 cards, and we'll show you the extra deck. So moving on to the extra deck, we have the 1 of the Magistus Artemis. This is the only link we play. I mentioned it before. You basically equip this to your Zora and it gets the Monster Reborn effect, and then it gives you the ability to search for the second one. So that's pretty nice. Moving on to the ExoSisters, we have the ExoSister Magnifica. This is by far the best one. If you don't know what it does, it's a quick effect banish, and then it tags out into any of the materials under it, which is usually the Michaelis, which is a second banish. And then if you have your Returnia, you get 2 additional banishes after that. So you get 4 banishes and follow-up, which is why this deck is really, really good. We're playing the triple Michaelis. This is the one you'll make pretty much every single turn. This is just Spell and Trap Searcher, and it's extremely useful. And the fact it's a quick effect banish when the turn is summoned means that if they do imperm the rotor effect, you can chain and banish something on the field or graveyard, which is always very, very nice. We have double of the ExoSister Bystial. This is the one you're going to make if you're not using Michaelis. This is your monster searcher, usually for Martha for follow-up, and the turn it's summoned, your opponent cannot summon monsters from the graveyard, which is nice if you're beating over something like a Rhino Heart. We have 1 Jabreen and 1 Sophiel. This is your Abyss Dweller, hence why we don't play Abyss Dweller, because we can make it. And this is our imperm and helps us push for OTKs by giving our Xyz monsters attack. Now for the monsters that are not ExoSisters, we have the 1 Zeus, because Zeus is just incredible, and if you're playing an Xyz deck, you should be playing Zeus. We got 1 Wallow. This is what we make off our Bystials, and this is a way, for example, if we use 2 Bystials during our opponent's turn, we make this, and then basically we get additional interruption off our opponent's graveyard, which is very, very nice. We have 1 Utopia, the Lightning, and Utopia. This is just to beat over things that are quite big and need to get, you know, we need to be over them. And then to flex on our opponent, we have the Gaga Cowboy Ultimate Rare, which means it can't be responded to, and it burns for 100 in time, winning you the game. So that is the end of the deck profile, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy my unique take on the Stepsisters deck. I think with Bystials, it has a lot of potential, but do leave your list down below in the comments. I do appreciate looking and reading over your guys' lists. You guys do give me quite a lot of inspiration. So without any further ado, I'm Rogue here, and I'll see you all in the next video.